Welcome to another edition of the Retro Buzz. And we are back fully stacked, ready to go. We've got a sad Glen. Oh, a happy Glen Planamento.
Well, I got a music on a second ago. It's still on my
Oh, okay.
earpiece. I'm listening to the playback. So
He's still rocking out from earlier. And back from his. Well, first of all, did you recover from last week with Chris? Did you?
he's a very nice guy. He's very misguided. He's got a lot of opinions that are just wrong, but a very nice guy. I will say that.
Well, I certainly recovered. Doug's laughing because he actually watched the show. What did you take away from it?
Oh, I mean, that was the most polite fight on the internet I've seen in a long time. Let's just put it that way. It was good educational vocabulary jousting. Let's put it that way. Clearly, they did not see eye to eye on many topics, and I thought that made for good conversation. But it's good. I always like seeing other people's perspective and hearing about how things come across and are, injected sometimes with people's personal feelings, and sometimes it's just like, hey, it's a misinterpretation. Either way, I just like to see how people interpret different things. And obviously, Chris had a different stance on specifically the newer Star Wars movies than Glenn for different reasons, and I thought that was interesting. But
He had opinions on movies that were claiming to be Star Wars, but we all know for a fact that they were not. And since he's not here to disagree, I win.
By default.
By default.
Doug, how was your trip out?
It was good. It was the first convention that I got to experience since this whole pandemic started. This thing had been canceled and rescheduled, I think, 4 or 5 times since it was originally planned. Masks were required while I was there, so that was new, but I was actually kind of surprised. Everybody was pretty respectful of that rule. I only saw probably 5-6 people in total out of like 2,000, 3,000, something like that attendees. So for the most part, everybody was respectful of the mask rule, and it was a good time. It felt like a normal convention for the most part, except for everybody walking around wearing a mask. So other than that, it felt like business as usual, which is nice to get some normalcy back in our lives, because even today we're still living in this pandemic world, and we're all jonesing to get back to normal as soon as possible. It was nice.
What did you learn from the panel for? I had it on the tip of my tongue.
But I went to several panels, so yeah.
Well, no, the panel for
While he's got the brain fart.
I am having a brain hiccup today, man. It's Stranger Things. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I had it on the tip of my tongue because I wanted to know about it.
So which one?
The Stranger Things.
Which one are you asking? Stranger Things?
Yeah.
So it was comical because number one, it was the kid that plays Dustin and the girl that plays Susie, his girlfriend. She was only in the last episode of the most recent season. They had a nice little moment in that finale episode where they sing the Never Ending Story theme song. And jokingly, that was literally the first question an audience member asked them during the Q&A. It was like, hey, can you sing that song? And they were saying, wow, we literally made stage, a bet backstage, how long before somebody asked us this. And sure enough, it was the first question. So they were actually kind enough to just a cappella sing that song to the crowd, so that's gotta be annoying if you're the actor, but it is nice as an attendee to see that type of thing, because they're willing and able to give the people what they want. But they weren't allowed to talk about season 4, obviously, because Netflix snipers kill them. But they talked about everything from how they got on the show, their process on the show, who is the goofiest, who's the easiest to work with, who their favorite actor is, character they wish they would have been if they weren't the actor they were. So a lot of cool behind the scenes, behind the show type of stories. So it was a great little Q&A with those folks.
Sweet. And then Glenn, you were asking him about what the other panel?
Yeah, well, I saw he got some pictures there with the Pope Kai cast.
I did. There was one downside of this thing getting canceled and rescheduled numerous times. Was originally it was supposed to be William Zabka, who plays Johnny Lawrence, Martin Kove, who plays Sensei Kreese, and then Ralph Macchio, who obviously plays the Karate Kid. all three of them were supposed to be there originally, and since this thing got canceled and rescheduled, unfortunately Ralph Macchio couldn't make it to this one. But I did get to meet, have a little meet and greet with Martin Kove and William Zabka, get a picture taken with them, and then sit down in a panel with them where they talked about the show and again the behind the scenes, the process, the history of the Karate Kid. That was the first movie that William Zabka was ever in. He was an 18-year-old kid, literally just like went out on a whim to try out for it and accidentally got the job, and obviously it changed his life. But it's really cool to see their thoughts on the characters they play and how they how their thoughts and opinions have changed about those characters in the last 20-30 years, and they give us a little bit to chew on, so to speak, on what to expect when season 4 comes out around December.
I've actually been
spar
waiting
with them?
for that.
Did you ask them to spar? I mean, come
No,
on, Doug.
that wouldn't be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's not a nice thing to say. Hey, nice to meet you. Can I kick your ass?
Oh, so you say
it's
so
a
you're
weird
saying
dynamic.
you can.
But I'm sure they
You are
probably get
saying
that.
You can kick their ass. You're just flat out saying it. Kick their ass.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I'm not trying to like toot my own horn, but there's literally like 99% of the human beings on this planet I can absolutely murder with my bare hands. So, yeah. Not going to start a conversation with, hey, nice to meet you. I think you're cool, but I can totally kick your ass. Because, I'm not trying to emasculate somebody. I'm a fan of their work. It doesn't really matter on or off screen how talented they are in martial arts, because they're still exposing people to the martial arts and hopefully getting people more interested in trying and joining up with martial arts activities. So I 100% fully respect that.
Well, I am looking forward to Stranger Things coming up. I totally
me too.
blanked. I knew it in my head.
Forever.
Oh, It's one of those things. So,
How long has it been? It's been a year, right?
yeah,
2 years.
Season 3?
2
it 2
years. Has
years?
it been 2 years?
Yeah, it's 2 years. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's
Well-
strange.
Well, everybody came for some arcade news, so I guess maybe we should get
Yeah.
into some of that stuff here. I think if they want to talk about that, I mean, I'm kind of enjoying talking about other things besides arcade news. No, I'm just kidding. So, Doug, talk to us about Frogger. What do we got with Frogger? What's this all about here?
I mean, this is just one of those odd things that like you didn't know you needed until you see it. Basically, it is the NBC/Peacock application. It's a new game show where they're offering contestants a chance to win a $100,000 prize. But it's basically Frogger meets what is it, the Wipeout TV show or the Most Extreme Challenge type of thing. It's basically like a super quasi-dangerous obstacle course where people try to cross from one side to the other safely and ideally win some prize money along the way. It's definitely not something I ever would have expected somebody to make a game show out of, but I'm all for it. As human beings, we tend to love watch other people get hurt, injured, and get knocked over. So this is sure to be fun for the whole family, because even though it has a inkling to do with the actual video game, it's still entertaining to watch, I'm sure.
Now we need
Comes out September
Donkey Kong, we need Defender, we need Pole Position. Let's get those games going. Need some carnage.
Yeah, I mean, you could have a spin-off of this. Donkey Kong, people are literally just trying to go up levels, and you have the American Gladiators throwing barrels at them, just knocking them off. Absolutely. I'm all for it.
Interesting. But I still don't understand why they call it Frogger. Like that makes of all the names, right? Why did you come up with Frogger?
Because somebody sent them a check, and it was an easy licensing right to get, and they said, "Hey, how do we tap into that '80s nostalgia craze that is still booming right now?" Hey, I know. Let's do Frogger, because Pac-Man doesn't really necessarily translate as well in an obstacle course type of environment, so to speak.
And you don't want to play Activision's Freeway. That's a little more boring. So Frogger had a couple more things going for it.
Yeah.
Still a great idea. It's hopefully, like I said, you can make some other games out of it, continue it. It's a good concept.
It is. I mean,
I didn't see any crocodiles, though. Did you see crocodiles?
I saw some floating at the very beginning. They just looked like things you were supposed to run across the back of, like little floating log type of situation. But I also didn't see cars running people over. I saw cars like pushing people safely into the water. I didn't see them 100% just mowing them over. So we'll see.
Need a little Death Race going. Death Race 2000 going. Need some of that.
I mean, there's a couple of times I've watched that Wipeout TV show, and I'm like, wow, somebody's legitimately going to go home in an ambulance because like they're falling in precarious positions where like their feet are going over their head and like touching their head. I'm like, yeah, you're not an acrobat. Your body's not used to that type of contortion.
The better show is MXC, Most Extreme Elimination Challenge. You remember that?
Go.
That was
absolutely.
Captain Tennille.
Yeah, it's like everything great about Mystery Science Theater 3000, and then everything great about Wipeout, and then put together.
We actually had Rubicon Alpha say joust. That'd be great. Some impaling. That would be good.
Yeah. Again, going back to like people love to see other people just get hurt. I mean, there's the reason why Jackass was so popular. There's a reason why American Gladiators was cool. It's the same kind of thing. It's like, hey, you get to see somebody just get their ass handed to them by some beefed up dude in a singlet with a rubber foam stick. I mean, absolutely. Put them on floating. What is it? What are the animals? It's not an ostrich, is it? In Joust?
In Joust, they're ostriches.
Yeah, they're ostriches.
Okay. Yeah. I wasn't sure if it was actual ostrich or if it was supposed to be just like a ostrich type bird.
It kind of reminds me of Nickelodeon Guts. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah. Well, they also had Nickelodeon Arcade. You guys remember that one?
Yeah,
Arcade was just cool.
It's like a combination because Guts was kind of like Double Dare, where you go through like obstacles and stuff. But that's what that kind of reminded me of. And that's
still a great idea.
That's launching when?
September 9th on the Peacock Network.
Oh,
so
I have
just
Peacock.
Download the application.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Now let's talk about something that's even more cool. Can I say that? More cool? Is that even something to say?
Cooler. The coolest.
Yes. And it's the our reptilian friends.
Yes, yeah. Heroes in a Half Shell. So Gamescom started on Wednesday, goes through today, I believe, but to some people's delight and some people's disappointment, we got this new gameplay trailer showing that April O'Neil is in fact going to be a playable character in the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge game. Everybody was looking forward to an actual like hard concrete release date. Unfortunately, they didn't do that. In fact, they kind of surprised people. They said this game is not coming out until 2022. But they did, however, mention that this game will be available on all the consoles as well as platforms like Steam. So if you're worried about this just being like a Steam-only type of thing or not coming to your favorite console, you can relax. It's supposed to be coming to PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, so that's good. But April O'Neil, I mean, it makes sense. She gets to join in, and I would expect later on down the line to also see some more characters because in that image right there, it's the original logo of Shredder's Revenge. They kind of interpolated and added April to that image, and it looked like there's some room there on the opposite side of that image. So maybe Casey Jones, maybe Splinter,
Casey Jones would be good. Yep.
Yeah, so I would expect later on, as this game gets closer to release, we'll probably see some more playable characters added to the mix for sure.
And it looks really good. It reminds me a little bit of Street to Rage. Just like, got that the mentality of the game, and it looks good. I'm definitely getting that for my Atari 2600. Said all consoles, right on there. Boom, day one.
Mm-hmm. And it looked like it had some nice like little co-op move set. So there's one part in that trailer where like I think April like jumps into the arms of Michelangelo and he throws her and she kind of like cannonballs into everybody. I thought that was a nice little co-op type of maneuver, so to speak. So very cool. It's the same.
I saw Krang. I saw some of the Krang heads in the background too.
Yeah, and it's the same company that did Streets of Rage 4. So this
perfect.
company obviously knows how to make a good side-scrolling beat 'em up. So it's in good hands. It's just we'll have to wait a little longer than anticipated to get it, but it does look great.
Worth the wait to do it right.
Mm-hmm.
So will it be on iArcade?
Fingers crossed.
That would be great.
I mean, Jong says anything's possible. I would like to see that be possible.
Kongs or Us says, I want to see Kino as a playable character throwing pizzas. He was only...
he was only in the second one, but he's not respected enough, let's put it that way. I keep hoping that NECA Toys is going to give me a Kino action figure for my Turtles collection. Just one more piece of plastic that I don't necessarily need, but I want.
None of us need any of this.
That's true, 100%. Yeah, these are all wants, not needs.
These are all wants. All right, so we have also some quarter arcade news, right?
Yeah.
Is that what this
So I
is?
did a video earlier on this
Some type
week,
of
but
numbskull problem.
yeah. But they put a couple of teaser images on their Facebook group, and the latest teaser image kind of really spilled the beans, so to speak. But for their upcoming releases, 2022, 2023, we're getting several cool cabinets. Right out of the gate, right on the left-hand side, you got the classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles side art. It's not really hard to decipher that one. Space Invaders is right next to it, something they've already announced, but is still planned on coming out very soon. Next to that is Zookeeper, which very cool game. Next to that, you got Turtles in Time, which makes absolute sense because if you're going to release the normal Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cabinet, why not release the same cabinet just reskinned with a different game in it with Turtles in Time? Next to that, you got Space Invaders Part 2, so going back to
that one,
Space Invaders.
I'm lined up for that one. That's in my pocket.
That's, in my opinion, the better version of Space Invaders. And then a surprise, but it's also a fun game, in my opinion. It's Kicks right next to it. One of those games that's so stupid simple, but it's also so fun to play. Yep. Next to it, you got Elevator Action, another great surprise game there. And then lastly, some sort of Pepsi machine. And I'm just guessing / speculating that this is probably going to be some sort of USB charging device. But either way, for somebody that has toys, action figures, and all sorts of like collectibles, to have like a little Pepsi machine, kind of.
Let's hope we can reskin that to a proper Coke dispenser. No one.
It's no all licensing, man. But I'm looking forward to adding it to like a little action figure diorama. But yeah, if you don't like Pepsi, somebody will make
Numskull,
a Coke
I'm telling you right now,
Numskull, I'm sure.
No one wants Pepsi. Nobody.
Hey, I'm from Texas. I want Dr. Pepper.
Was that a Pepsi product? I don't know. Is that a Pepsi or Coke product?
It's its own thing. I mean, depending on where you go. So in my area in Missouri, it is under the Coke banner. If you go to Texas, it's its own thing. I think East Coast, it's distributed by Pepsi. Like, there's different regional distributions for it.
Well, at least you didn't say you wanted a Dr. Fauci. Just saying.
Yeah.
So these are going to come out. These are going to come out
That would be super cool, and I also wouldn't put that past Numskull because they really like to do the same thing where they like really focus on the minute details and try to make things as accurate as possible. So I don't think it's just going to be a solid box with a Pepsi vinyl sticker on it. I think they're going to really try to impress some people with
well, I will say
functionality.
I know you own more of them than I do. I've only got the Pac-Man one from Numskull. Mm-hmm. But again, like New Wave Toys, very good attention to detail. You're going to give it a nice coin. The machine is gorgeous. So aside from the Pepsi logo, Numskull, you can make it right with Coke because you do make some quality stuff. Don't distill your brand by linking yourself to Pepsi. Just saying.
Why are you so against Pepsi?
Yeah.
What did it do to you?
Honestly, because Pepsi is the Kathleen Kennedy of the soda world. Okay? That's why. Just that simple.
You know what? In the future, / in 2015, in the Back to the Future, everybody's drinking Pepsi. Just saying.
Just like in, what was it, Demolition Man. Oh, no, Demolition Man. Yeah, everything was Taco Bell, wasn't it? That was a good place to live. Everything was Taco Bell. I can get down with that. I think Taco Bell is better.
I like Taco Bell. That's probably one of my favorites.
I like Taco Bell, and like 6 hours later, I don't like Taco
Bell. First of all, then you eat the Taco Bell.
That's a bold strategy. That sounds like a game show right there. It's like, see, we can hold the week-old Taco Bell down the longest. Oh, man.
Yeah,
that might be the cure for COVID right there.
We usually do Taco Bell on a Sunday. I like it. My wife will get it sometimes. My son will, but my daughter hates tacos. There's a lot of things she hates. Yeah, she don't eat meat either.
Well, there's no meat in that stuff.
I know.
I mean,
yeah, I missed out.
What kind of meat it is, but
it just
don't ruin it for me, Doug. Don't ruin it for me. Here.
Hi, Alfred.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, it didn't. I put the wrong one up here. Here we go. I used the wrong lower third. It's one of those days.
No, come on. How could you miss out?
I had the same problem. I missed out on Cubert. So I feel for you, Travis. I do. I feel for you.
There was plenty of time. There was plenty of time.
you'll have a small window of like once they fill everybody's pre-orders, they typically have a couple, small allotment for the general public. But once it's gone that second time, you're gonna have to pay those eBay prices. So definitely keep your eye out.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. I mean, they're actually worth the eBay prices, but why pay them when you can get them for so much cheaper?
Absolutely.
All right,
I hear Hubert cursing right now. I can hear him. Like, how'd you miss it?
Yeah, some people are saying that the YouTube is buffering. Guys, I'm getting an error on YouTube as well. It'll fix itself. It's coming from YouTube because my encoder is showing it. Yeah, you got to roll with it or open up Facebook. One of the two.
Is that one of our buffer girls?
But it's looking.
Girls out there?
YouTube does this. It randomly will just throw up an error. It'll say, "Hey, you're not sending enough packets," when everything else is running smooth and all the other platforms are running smooth. So I don't know what.
I'll send a message to our YouTube buffer girl.
What happened is Glenn mentioned Kathleen Kennedy while ragging on Taco Bell.
I broke the internet again.
Or Pepsi. I'm sorry, Pepsi.
It happens.
So you did it.
The overlords at those companies.
Well, look,
don't take
I got to say, if we got to take it for the team to let the world know the evil that is Kathleen Kennedy and Pepsi, so be it.
Ben's gonna get us canceled in a heartbeat.
I was just gonna say that we might as well just throw in the towel right now. Let me pull up here.
Hey, guys, it's not always easy doing the right thing. Sometimes you got to take a stand for the right thing to save the. I'm sorry, you got to do it.
Glenn will happily dive on that sword.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So Brad over on Facebook is saying YouTube is jacked up. So guys, if you're listening and you can hear this, maybe you want to pull up Facebook too, just as a backup. That's why we stream the multiple platforms. So if you run into a problem, you can grab one of the other ones. So Brad is one of my community manager guys, and so he's checking the feeds, and usually he'll be the first one to send me a message going, all the feeds are down, all the feeds are down.
Well, I can say the Glen Retro Show one is running. So if you go over to Glen's Retro
there you
Show,
go.
it's definitely up and running.
Yeah, Glen has the feed going. We're doing something new where we can send the feed at the exact same time as the other ones to those. So if Glen's is running, then it's something with my. See, you got me killed on my channel. That's what it was.
Well, listen, again, in my contract, I get the bandwidth. So if there's a problem, it's got to come to me. That's just how it is. And I don't apologize for it.
Apparently. All right, so talk to us, Doug, about this Ninja Kids Arcade. What is this?
So iiRcade announced on Tuesday that they got a bunch of new title games coming specifically. 5 in total, but this one right here is my personal favorite out of the bunch, and it's probably the least known. It's a nice side-scrolling beat 'em up, which I'm an absolute sucker for. I make no apologies about it. But Ninja Kids, the Ninja Kids, most basic, simplistic title you could possibly make. I mean, they look like Muppets. They don't look like Ninja Kids, but
they do look like puppets.
Yeah, like I said, it's got really goofy art style, and it just makes me immediately kind of like harken back to like the '90s TV movies. I don't want to say TV movie, but they're TV movie quality. Three Ninjas. There was like three of them. That's what this immediately makes me think of.
Yeah.
This predates that, but still, it's got like a very unique, like I said, art style. As you can see, it looked like they're fighting. Looked like they're fighting Animal, the drummer from Dr. Keith's Muppet Band, there in that intro screen. But it's a fun little side-scrolling beat 'em up coming to the iiRcade very soon, as well as some other great title games. So if you're looking for something unusual, kind of off the beaten path, and you probably haven't played this game, which I'm expecting a lot of people haven't, give it a shot. I mean, worst case scenario, you don't like it, you ask for a refund, you get your money back. But I think a lot of people will enjoy this game. It's silly.
I like beat 'em ups, so I would get this game. I'm just looking at it here. I tried to not watch any of these videos that you
Al
sent.
Capone back there, just at the bar.
I tried not to watch any of these videos, Doug, so I could kind of give my reaction to it. And
fine.
I'm like, this is. I would play this. I would buy this. What is it going to sell for? $10? I'll buy it for $10.
I bet it'll be even cheaper than that.
If it's cheaper than that, that's even better. Sold.
Mm-hmm.
Get into Glen's territory of paying for a product.
I mean, look at that. He's chopping these characters in half. Like there's legs just sitting there. I mean,
This isn't family
you don't get that
friendly.
in a lot of beat 'em up games. There's a lot of censorship going on. Apparently, Taito was like, "Hey, how do we compete with Capcom and all these beat 'em ups that they're putting out? Let's chop."
I want to know. I want to know from Jong. He's all about the family experience. Jong, how did you let this one in iArcade?
Well, because there's no blood.
I'm playing.
No
I'm
blood.
playing.
Like a
You
lightsaber.
can
It's
chop
you
people
know
in little
a
pieces.
clean cut. And look at that guy. Look at his flexibility tied up there with those legs. I mean, he does yoga.
Dude.
He's kicking her in the head.
Yeah.
There we go.
I expect them to to come out and go, "Silence! I'll kill you."
It's pretty close.
That's what it
Really
looks
close.
like. But it does. It gives it like a whole puppet.
Yeah.
Feel.
Dang, man, that's
Muppet.
decapitations going
Feel
on
to it.
there.
Yeah.
These knife wielding foes also remind me of Iggy Pop.
Yeah. Iggy Pop. Yeah.
This guy can summon water, apparently.
And water to make the body explode. I didn't know that.
Water is dangerous, Mother Nature don't F around.
That's why I do not shower. Right there. See,
Okay,
I
really
know I'm
noted.
doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
Wolfman.
And that man just turned into a werewolf, and yeah, I mean, stuff's crazy in this game.
It
It's
still
the
looks.
sleeper hit of the pack.
It still looks good. It looks.
Yeah.
That I don't. I don't know what to make of that. Some kind of like power up of some
Yeah.
sort.
Yeah.
You have your power up or your special power in beat 'em up games.
I've just never played this game.
Like I said, it's the sleeper hit of the bunch. I think other people
Apparently.
are probably more familiar with New Zealand Story, The Legend of Kage, however you want to pronounce it. Those are probably the more known titles in these 5 titles that they're coming out with or part of this announcement. But I think this one, personally, gets my vote for the best of the 5.
The Ninja Kids.
Sorry,
Interesting.
so people in my chat are saying that the blue guy looks like Grover. I love Grover.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
Grover,
I'm telling you, somebody that was on the Jim Henson team had a hand in the art styling of this game. I don't know if they got fired and just went over to Taito and said, "Hey, I made Sesame Street. I can make video games too." But somebody clearly took some inspiration from some puppets.
Well, it looks like I may have to take a look at that game. I've never heard of it, never played it. Maybe I shall.
More you know.
Oh yes, perfect timing. And that's actually perfect timing for another segue. Actually,
Oh yeah.
you know what time it is, right? You know what time it is, right?
What time is it?
It's time for Glen's Game of the Week. So what game am I playing this week? It's Cinematronics Star Castle. Star Castle was designed by Tim Skelly and programmed by Scott Bowden. Skelly created a number of other Cinematronics vector games, including Starhawk, Armor Attack, and Ripoff. All my favorites. The object of Star Castle is to destroy an enemy spaceship which sits at the center of 3 concurrent rotating energy shield rings, while avoiding or destroying enemy mine ships that spawn from the central core and pass through the energy rings and then home in on the player's ship. You, the player, control a spaceship, and it can rotate left and right and thrust forward. You can also fire small projectiles. The central spaceship's shields are composed of 12 sections each, and each section takes 2 hits to destroy. Once the section is breached, the rings beneath are now exposed to fire from your ship. Once the innermost ring has been breached, the central weapon is vulnerable to attack from the player. However, the player is also more vulnerable at this point, as the enemy ship can now rotate to your position and fire through the shield as well. The central spaceship constantly tracks where your ship is, so no matter where you move, it's going to try and home in and fire on you through these shield openings. Now, if the player manages to get a direct hit on the central ship, it explodes violently, collapsing all the rings and exploding outward. The player is now, at this point, awarded an extra ship. The next level then starts with a new ship at the center, fully restored shield rings, with difficulty and speed increased. The mines move faster, the rings rotate more quickly, and the core tracks the player even faster. If the player completely destroys the outermost ring, or any of the rings, the cannon will create a new one, pushing them outward. The middle ring expands to replace the lost outer ring. The inner ring replaces the middle, and a new central ring emerges to become the innermost ring. Therefore, in order to penetrate the central ship's defenses, the player must be careful not to completely obliterate each ring. The central spaceship has 3 homing mines that will destroy your ship on contact. The mines can be destroyed by your fire, but they are small and difficult to hit. The enemy ship mines are revived when the shields are regenerated. As you progress through the levels, the mines that track your ship are much faster, forcing the player to keep moving to avoid them. Some important things to note. The Atari programmer, Howard Scott Washer, who also programmed E.T., wanted to make Star Castle for the Atari 2600. He didn't quite get down the gameplay properly, so he kind of changed the game into a very popular Atari game called Yar's Revenge. A home hobbyist did write a clone of Star Castle for the Atari 2600 that was released in 2012. Jim Nichols of Cavalier Computers wrote a clone for the Apple II called Ring Raiders in 1981. There was also a version of Star Castle called Star Island in 1982 for the Atari 8-bit line. In the 1986 movie Maximum Overdrive, a Star Castle machine electrocutes a person playing the game in the arcade. Star Castle is definitely a very fun game. It's one of my favorite vector games. I have a lot of fond memories of it, and it is extremely challenging. The gameplay is fast and furious and really unforgiving. You need to keep your eye on that center ship, the mines that track you, and of course, that blast that comes out to blow up your ship. So that's what I played this week. Join me next week for another fun game on Glen's Game of the Week. Until then, remember, game on.
Glen's Game of the Week. Everybody seems to look forward to this, Glen. You got the magic touch on that.
Trying to just give the people what they want. That and Coca-Cola and no Kathleen Kennedy.
All right, we got to do a vote or something. Guys in the chat room, just to put this at ease, Coke or Pepsi? Put it in there. Let's see. Doug, are you Coke or Pepsi, or you really don't care?
I haven't drinking.
He's a water guy.
Drunk soda since I was 22.
At 22, what did you drink?
Dr. Pepper.
Which was a Coke product. We already said, so it's okay.
So he gets away with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. What do we got? Oh, we got a Coke. The chat room here.
Cherry Coke.
Cherry. Oh, I like cherry Coke.
Everyone does. Bring baby.
Paul Bears.
Who's giving their babies cherry Coke?
The smart people, Doug. The smart people.
This is Doug. You're asking the same guy.
I mean, I'm not a parent, so I don't know a whole lot about child rearing. But for some reason, that sends off an alarm bell in my head that you're not supposed to give infants cherry Coke.
This is the same guy that was going to throw his kid out just so he could put arcades in his room.
I was going to throw him out. I was going to escort him. That's a little bit of a difference.
Yeah.
Just saying.
He was going to offering him some outdoor camping, survival skills. That's what he was offering.
Got the tent. Got a man up once in a while. He's 16.
Oh my!
Well, I mean, come on. You do hunting and go out in the wilderness. I mean, you should be able to let your kids do that, right?
The wilderness. Yeah, I do go out hunting. You just make it sound like I'm like Daniel Boone.
You go to those places with trees.
Going out
the place with those bugs and stuff like around.
I'm going out in the wilderness. Excuse me, folks.
The suburbs.
I'll be right back. I'm going out in the wilderness. I'm like, what are we on, the Appalachian Trail or something, or what was it?
I mean, you kind of live the buck country. You got the game, but you're also
there,
aren't you?
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay,
yeah,
well,
I'm doing that.
There we go.
Very soon, actually.
I'm a New Yorker. I don't have that place around here.
Yeah.
Okay?
A lot of guys are like, I don't drink soda. Pepsi is
But if they
sweeter than
did-
Coke.
But if they did, it would have been Coke.
Oh, there you go.
I personally like Coke better than Pepsi.
That's
I
2
do.
for 1.
I am, and I buy a lot of Coke products. So
And we all hate Kathleen Kennedy. So again, just listen to me, people, and everything will be fine.
all right. On that note, Doug, take us on this Stern adventure here. What do we got here from
All right,
Stern?
so Stern had an announcement, or a teaser of an announcement on, I think it was Wednesday, and then just this afternoon they released some more details and information. But they are unveiling some new, I don't know, I guess ecosystem, so to speak, is maybe the right word. But this is called Stern Insider Connected, which is a terrible name in my opinion. Because they already have
I'll
something
say.
that's called the Stern Insider Program, which is like a monthly subscription box type of thing.
Yeah.
And anyways, it's confusing. But anyways, at its core, just think of it as connected pinball gameplay in the vein of something like Xbox Live or your PlayStation Network type of thing. So you can get yourself achievements, you can unlock rewards, you can have all sorts of online connectivity. But basically, they're going to allow you to have your own independent QR code, walk up to their machine, scan that QR code, it immediately recognizes your gamer profile, so to speak, and you can compete against other people in your area, other people in the world, so to speak. You can do certain challenges that may just be for that specific area you're playing. They've got ways to like maybe get some free swag, some discounts in their store, just all sorts of new possibilities that they've really only just began to scratch the surface on and explaining. It's not rolled out yet, but it is going to be also retroactive. So if you got any of their new machines that have the DMD screen that is actual LCD and not an actual old school DMD, it'll be retroactive to this. You can buy a little upgrade kit, put it on your pinball machine at your house, or if you're an operator, if you're a guy that owns lots of pinball machines and has them in bars all over the city, potentially you can go on this app and check on how your machines are doing, see how much money they're making, if there's a problem, diagnostics. I mean, this is really kind of opening Pandora's box with brand new possibilities for pinball, and I'm pretty excited about it. It's supposedly going to be added to any machine Stern is making in the month of September moving forward for all their premium and limited edition ones. The Pro model supposedly doesn't come with this pre-installed, but you can, again, buy a little add-on kit and install it yourself if you want. Or, again, if you don't want it, you can completely ignore it. It's not something that's going to be forced down your throat. So that's kind of the best of both worlds. I saw people griping about it all day long. It's like, oh, this is going to raise the price of my machines. It's like, you don't have to buy it. You're not required to buy it. No one's twisting your arm, but I think it's a cool, innovative way for them to kind of add more to the gameplay experience, add more to the users. Obviously, this is probably a brainchild of everyone being stuck at home for over a year and saying, hey, how do we connect with people even though we're all stuck at home? So this is their new, insightful way to do it, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's actually a really good thing to add, just like jukebox code to the iiRcade.
No, don't even bring that up. I knew you were going to do that. I thought we'd forget about it. I got through last week with it. You had to bring that up, didn't you?
It's awesome.
It's not awesome.
I'm using it every day.
Waste of development cycles. You could have been building Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge. You could have put that in there.
Well, you can stream Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles music on your iiRcade through the jukebox.
Why?
Because it's an awesome soundtrack, man.
Well, no, I'm not debating that. I agree with you on that. But jukebox mode. Now, okay, you'll hear this. Listen carefully, once and only once. If any of the arcades is going to have a jukebox, iiRcade needs to have it because of the 100 gigawatt, whatever it is, 1.2 gigawatt sound.
No question there.
They have the speaker system for it. So I'll give that to you, okay? I'm just not a fan of jukebox. That's
I still have to ask John to put a switch where you can turn up that safety feature where it always starts at the same like low tier mode. I want to keep that. I want to be like Back to the Future, turn it on, and wham, I'm going flying back. So, John, if you're listening, please just put a switch in there to turn off that sound safety feature. Us old people, we don't care. Just blow eardrums out. We're good.
Yeah. So the other thing too, with that, okay, with the iiRcade, and having the jukebox, is he going to create a jukebox iArcade that you can now buy? Themed?
Jukebox, boombox?
Well, like a jukebox theme, right?
Like actual
like he's
music
been done.
talking about. Download like a jukebox, you would go into like the old stores and
yeah, like almost like a store where you can go in and like you put the theme. I don't know, like okay, so AtGames did the easy mode right on the pinball where you can now just go right into pinball games. You don't have to worry about anything else, which I like. Is he going to do something where he calls it jukebox mode where you can set the app to auto open if you want, and then it has a store where you can buy music or connects to the Google Play store because it does have Android games, so I'm assuming he could easily make it work with like your Google Play Music. I'm just thinking.
John is listening.
I think that would work for guys that want to have it like in their house as a centerpiece, and I won't do that.
Got great speakers in there, so it would make some sense. And that's not a bad idea. I'm sure John would be open to it. He can get the license for it. You probably should have talked this offline and got some money off the idea. Even
I already owe you enough money as it is every time we say experience. So this will be yeah. So if somebody wants to bring that up to John, I don't know. I think that would be ideal for people that if that's their only arcade and they want to have the experience, because that's what John's all about, right? I think having a UI that's dedicated to it, where it's simple, that you could go in and pick songs, but it's connected to your Google Play. I think that would be something people would want. Not me, but it would be something people would want.
I'd want it.
Well, I know
the key thing is it's extra, so to speak. Like it's not going to cost you anything to have that feature. So I mean, you don't like it, don't use it. Just move on. Plain and simple. And those are the best type of features. That it may not be for you, but it could be for somebody next to you or right behind you, and that's perfect.
I want to sit here and gripe about it. That's what I want to do.
And I like when you do.
I'm kidding. People love to hear that type of thing, but in reality, I mean, you could just say, "Nah, not for me," and move on.
No, that's what we are going to say. Or you could
stew on it for weeks.
I want to go into the groups since I've been out of the groups for 4 or 5 months now. I want to go into the groups and I want to complain. That's what I want to do. I miss complaining. I miss going in there and having people tell me to be quiet. No, I really don't. So, moving right along. So Arcade1Up, we got to talk about this. Brought out the games, right, that actually fit Glen's size now.
They announced their Arcade1Up Jr cabinets that have already been bounced around the internet and various different websites and things like that. But here's their sizzle reel about the Arcade1Up Jr cabinet. So you got Paw Patrol and Pac-Man. Those are the two they officially announced. One thing they did kind of let out there, just kind of just slid it under the door. Didn't really make a whole lot of news about it. Was the price. The prices went up just like every other Arcade1Up product. This was originally supposed to be $199 according to some UPC listings that were going around the internet a couple months ago. The price is now $279.99. This product is obviously not for me. Again, I don't have kids, so my opinion is moot, but I'd be curious for those people that were actually looking to buy something like this at $199 to $279. If that price changes their opinion at all, if they're on board still or if they're completely off board. If you're an adult, you don't have kids, again, your opinion really isn't valid because it's just a product that you weren't going to buy. It's not marketed for you to buy, so you can just kind of move on and ignore it. But for those that were looking to buy this for a kid or something like that, I'm curious what they think about this.
Well, I said from the beginning when they first announced it, I didn't think it was a bad idea. Price may be a little bit higher than almost like an impulse buy, something like that. Someone buying it for a young kid, around $199 is more of an impulse buy, I think, for that age group, and something that looks like would fit in a tiny Tykes, like kitchen set for your daughter, or your little Home Depot set there for your son, or it's now the 2020s, so the kitchen set for the husband, little kid, and the Home Depot stuff for the little girl, whatever. I think that $199 was a better price, but again, price has gone up with a lot of things. I still think it's not a bad item to sell for that. I do take back a little bit the joystick design. I think they're thinking 2 kids' hands holding that joystick might be better, but I still think maybe a smaller joystick would have been better even for little kids. but I don't think it's bad. It's all plastic, if I'm not mistaken, so it'll hold up to spills and things along those lines. So I don't think they did a bad thing here.
My question is, you said about prices going up. It's plastic.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
Still
I'm
electronic
not
components.
justifying or trying to rationalize why the price went up. I mean, we could sit here in armchair quarterback and say, well, it's likely because of this or it's likely because of that. We don't work for Arcade1Up, so we don't know the true answer. We can garner and make some educated guesses based off of current economic climate type of things. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The price is what it is. You can vote for your wallet or vote with your wallet and just not support the product, or you can pay up, pay a lot of.
I will make a completely uneducated guess. Uneducated guess. But for me, electronic prices did go up, but also, even though there's plastic, still have to get supplies of plastic to inject and mold them, the one, and still got to ship them over here. Now, these are going to be, when you're not shipping these flat pack, you're shipping a larger box, they're pre-assembled. So that costs more in shipping as well. So all those things for shipping, they were now, they've gone up quite a bit. So to get them here, it's going to cost more.
So Meatball Sauce, he makes a good point in here. He says, I can tell you, if I saw this at Babies R Us 14 to 20 years ago, I would have bought this for my kids. This will sell, in his honest opinion. I think at the price point, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a tough sell. Because think about it. New parents, this is not something that's going to be on their list to buy their kids. I mean, let's just be, especially now, times are tough for people. They're not going to be looking at this, to buy it. If it was, some people are saying $199 max, maybe $150. I kind of tend to agree with the $150 range. That's just me. I could see them maybe splurging for something like that for Christmas for their kids. But I mean, honestly, like most parents.
Have you seen what those little kitchen sets go for?
I was just going to say, but most parents, they buy this stuff at yard sales. Yeah,
they're not that cheap, and they're just plastic.
Yeah,
they're really just plastic, and they could charge you that amount of money. So even those cars, those electric cars you get, just an electric motor and a battery. I was blown away when I got it for my son 15 years ago. I still paid like $300 for it back then for a little tiny motor and a piece of plastic they sit in.
But there's a lot of parents.
I don't think the price is that bad.
There's a lot of parents, though, that don't buy their kids until they're like 3 years old anything for Christmas because they just don't understand.
Some parents who don't buy anything for little Glenny for Christmas. He's got nothing under the tree.
There you go.
Well, little Glenny was probably sipping on a bottle of cherry Coke, so it was okay.
It's probably what he got for Christmas, cherry Coke or Coke or something.
What are you trying to say, Doug? You said I too much soda as a kid. I got no teeth.
But I'm thinking too, like I know when we were younger and my daughter was younger, my wife would go to the yard sales. My wife's mom would go to yard sales and get stuff for the kids. I mean, time will tell. I'm not poo-pooing it. I just, in my opinion, I think this is going to be a tough sell at that price.
I think if your kids were younger, in that age group, you might have.
But I'm a minority in this, okay? Because I already have arcades. Just like Doug, if he had kids right now, he would buy it for his kids. You would buy it if you had a younger kid. You would buy it.
I may still buy it for myself.
Let's talk about. Well, you're the right size for it.
I'm the right size.
Let's talk about regular consumers, though. Everybody that's in the chat room is not a regular consumer. These guys like live and breathe this stuff, and so
but it's not for them. This product is really not even close. Not even close. This is on QVC. I bet this ends up on like QVC.
Oh, this would be a QVC one.
Yeah, grandparents are watching that, saying, "Oh, little Jimmy, little Tammy, whatever," and they'll buy it, and it'll be used. It'll be fun, even if it's not played with per se. Just put it in their little set with their Home Depot and their little house kit set and little type stuff. It'll be great just to play with, even if it's off.
I want to put it out there to everybody that's watching this. If you happen to see somebody that buys one in the wild, and I'm not talking about somebody that does stuff on YouTube, because obviously you're going to have your reviewers that are going to come out. I want you to tag the three of us on Twitter or on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
And let us know, because I would really like to see that somebody actually bought this from a normal household. Or share, if it's a family member, share a picture with us if you don't mind, because
I guarantee Mike Tyson's got them all right now. Mike Tyson's got them all lined up.
Boogie might have them all lined up. I don't know.
You might have some room still.
I'm just thinking out loud because I'm really curious. I'm more so curious than anything to see what the audience is for. And listen, Arcade1Up will sell them. We know that, right?
Yep.
So
I mean, when you look at the countercades, like little countercades that they sell right now, they're going for like $199 anyway. Yep. Right now.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's what they're going for. Yeah.
Right.
$150,
so you're getting
$199.
Something. Right, and this is all inject molded plastic, but you think it's cheaper, but the molding of it is a lot more money. The tooling to make those is a lot more money. So I don't think it's really a bad deal, but it's not for us. But
it's solid.
Hit us on Twitter.
Yeah, hit us up on Twitter, Facebook. Because honestly, I would like to show that on a show and be able to sit there and go, well, I was wrong, and it's okay. I'm all right. I'm okay with being wrong on this. I'd be really surprised, but maybe there's a market for it. I mean, God only knows we're running out of space for this.
The other thing to remember is, sometimes you got to throw the cards, throw the deck out.
Sure.
Kind of see what goes face up and sticks. So at least Arcade1Up is trying to innovate, and which is, that's a good thing. Is it always going to be perfect? No, but I take my hat off for doing it, and I think it will kind of be a semi-success. I do think that the price point is a little bit on the high side, but I still think it's going to sell.
And I agree with this comment here about this. This will be the rich baby present for 2021.
Sharper image, baby.
So that brings up another interesting point about this, right? They're already talking about there's going to be toy, latency. You're not going to be able to get toys until mid-2022.
Period.
Yeah, I mean they're so
third largest port in the world right now is shut down.
You got a piece of cardboard from Kenner.
This says, hey, maybe we'll get you some toys later on. Yeah.
So what did you say? The largest port in the world is shut down right now. Which one's that?
I think it's the third largest.
Third largest.
Third largest port in the world is shut down right now due to COVID. They had a couple of workers test positive, and they shut it down. They're taking this, completely serious because they don't want this to spread out of control. But yeah, there's an obvious bottleneck with shipping right now. There's no secret about their shipping. Container prices are just astronomically going through the roof because it's supply and demand. If your company can't afford to pay the exorbitant price that they're asking, somebody right behind you is going to be able to pay it. But if you're expecting anything to hit like a normal release date window this holiday season, good luck. You're going to have a bad time.
Well, that's why they're suggesting people start shopping now for your kids and get, So when are these supposed to launch? Did they say like October-ish, November-ish? I thought originally that's what they were saying. Fall. Okay.
I think they said one of them was
2022.
October, one of them was November.
Of 2022, right?
Or just fall?
No, I think it was like October 15th and November 15th. They were split by a solid month. But again, I was like, man,
for 2022 though, right?
Right now, I wouldn't count on anything showing up in that time frame.
And that's why I'm being facetious by saying 2022 because that's going to be the reality. I'm afraid. I think you're not going to see these until this time next year. And I know AtGames is coming out with they're going to have some announcements coming up. But I think all these products that these companies are bringing, we're not going to see them until next year. I do not foresee us seeing these new products until mid next year.
Or it'll be a very slow trickle.
Have you guys
some product might sneak in, but
have you seen an actual PS5 or Xbox Series X in the wild?
In the store?
In the store? Have you walked in?
I mean, they're still doing semi-weekly, hey, Walmart's going to sell it at 9 a.m. and then it's gone like literally 30 seconds, just like it was the first time the pre-orders went up. Like nothing's changed in that front at all.
And it's not because there's demand. It's the fact that they can't get enough to the store that people that wanted them.
I don't know about you guys, the people in the chat, but my Walmart, the toy electronics section, there's nothing there.
There's nothing. Bare. Yeah, it's bare.
I mean, I can literally lay down on my shelves at my local Walmart.
Certain ones.
6-7 foot empty spaces.
I'm just going to throw this out there for
electronics.
I'm going to throw this out there for our wrestling fans. Okay, CM Punk came back. We all know that. We all marveled. We were all right. When his action figure comes out, you better buy 2. You better buy 3 because I'm telling you, and I think Doug, you would agree as the plastic collector.
Oh, 100%.
That is going to be
for $100 the moment it.
Did you see the ice cream wrappers that they're selling for $300 on eBay?
Same thing. The
shirt
there was
too.
T-shirts that the shirt was going for $300. Yeah, I mean people pay exorbitant prices for things they want. That's why anytime somebody says, so such and such item is too expensive, I'm like, it is to you. But I guarantee you, there's somebody else that disagrees and is more than willing to shell out whatever exorbitant costs.
I did order one of the new Punk shirts. It doesn't have the thing on the back, but it's still it's CM Punk. I did order. It should be here soon. And there is another chat in here that makes a lot of sense. Let's add this in real quick. The Chinese New Year, they shut everything down.
That's true.
Shuts down every Christmas time, or
I thought it was February. Isn't it February?
Yep.
Beginning of February.
It was January. Man, I'm off. Anyways, winter. It shuts down everything for a while. So that's assuming everything was already caught up, which it won't be by then.
Chum bucket. You're probably looking at. I think they said anywhere from 6 to 10 months backlog.
Well, I can tell you right now, I am pre-ordering toys that are announced today that are not showing an ETA until March. Typically, these things have like a 60, 90-day turnaround time after they're announced.
Yep.
But these big companies like Mattel, Hasbro, if they can't, release something or give you a date that they're confident, because, they got billions of dollars, they don't care. If they don't think they can get something by fall, they're just going to say, yeah, we'll play it safe and we'll say March. And that tells me a lot about what other companies are potentially going to be capable
of. Well, Doug,
because if billionaire companies can't
pull something off. Those Ecto ones, remember back in March of this year?
Oh, yeah. It was like 9 months.
And we just got them.
I've seen them in store.
Yeah, but we just got our pre-order for my son, and yours, you got, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
So,
expect more of that.
That's the reality. So guys out there, if you're looking to get your kids toys for Christmas, and they want something that's out there and you see it in the store and you're like, I'll come back for it later, and it's a hard, buy it. Just buy it, because you may run into that problem.
If you can't get the toy, you can go out and get a nice 12-pack of Coke.
Maybe. We have one last real story, I guess, or update on the firmware from AtGames, Doug. Tell us. I didn't get a chance to play with it, so tell us about it.
I got to just briefly play with it on my lunch break today, but basically it introduces a new kind of like Sports Center high score ticker along the bottom of the back glass. It's completely optional. You don't have to use it. You can turn it on or off. But if you're going through your tables, you don't even have to like be in the table, so to speak. So you can be in the main user interface and just picking which table you want to play. Immediately pops up and it'll show you who's got the top 3 highest scores, their username, what score they've got. So you can, at a quick glance, get an idea of where you need to go to break in that top 3. Instead, they want to include more than the original top 3, but as of right now, as of today, this firmware update's only showing you the top 3 high scores. But cool little feature.
I'm gonna have to check on that, but I know you did say you ran into some performance issues, so people need to watch that.
Yeah, I was playing, I think it was like House of Cards Deluxe, and I turned that on. And while you're playing the table, a little still ticker across the bottom. And I definitely noticed there was some frame drop issues and some frame rate issues. And then I went into the settings, turned that setting right off, went back to the table, played it again. Everything's fine. Did it 3 times just to make sure I wasn't imagining things, even recorded the footage on my cell phone. I let their team know, said, hey, this is potentially causing an issue. Maybe look into it. But
now, see, that's a cool feature, though. It's a cool, like, if you're doing competitive pinball. I know a lot of these guys, they like to do the competitive thing, like Meatball Saucy and some of these other guys in here. For them, I think that would be a cool feature. You have your top 3 and you're trying to beat it, but they got to get that performance nailed down. That's the thing. You got to get it.
Absolutely, yeah. Because if it affects the gameplay, then you're defeating the whole purpose. I mean, you're not going to go set a high score while your machine is lagging or sputtering or anything like that while you're trying to play a table. So work out the kinks a little bit, but overall, it's a cool feature. Hopefully they get it ironed out.
And I'm still a fan of the easy mode on the Legends Pinball. I think they just keep making it better and better. So if you haven't checked that out, check out easy mode on the Legends Pinball. That's probably like one of my favorite features right now that's on it. I know it sounds really stupid, but when I have people come over, they are scared to death of that pinball table because they're afraid they're going to mess something up.
Because it's just too much. It's
information
overload.
Not that that's bad.
Make it as simple as possible.
But you guys know, Glen, Doug, I mean, these are consumers. These are not guys that have been playing with this firmware since day one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so easy mode, they're able to come in, they say, oh, I can go through these tables, and they see what it looks like. That is like phenomenal for game parties. For you and I, we probably wouldn't go into it. We're going to leave it as, as is. But I'll tell you what, if you have people over, you need to turn on easy mode. It's phenomenal for people. The one thing I don't like with it is that they did fix it where you have to hit the button and it comes up. Are you sure you want to leave easy mode? I suggested get rid of that altogether. The button that leaves easy mode, and I said you press home and start. That gets you out of easy mode because the odds of a noob doing that, somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, pressing them at the same time, they're not going to do it.
That's a lot of hoops to jump through to even get to that point.
Right.
Noob. So.
Right. So my thing is get rid of the button that tells you you can exit easy mode and just press the two front buttons as you or Glenn or me to get out of it. And so let's see if they add it. But I like easy mode. I think it's a really good feature. I think it's one of the better ones. Anything else in your neck of the woods, Glenn? Anything else we're missing through the notes, or anything that came up on your end?
I don't believe so. No.
Nothing.
I am good. I've been very busy this past week, so I could have missed a lot.
Yeah, and I hope he doesn't care, but Glenn's not his normal self today. He's had to been at the vet. His dog's not doing well.
Please
Blue.
give good thoughts out to Blue. He's 9, but he had a neck injury. I have no idea how it happened, and he's not been well. He's in a lot of pain, and so any good thoughts you can give out to Blue, I really would appreciate. Thank you.
So that's why he's kind of being a little mellow tonight. It's not normal.
Yep, and I've been drinking anything.
Yeah,
I was about to say he's also not drinking some colored liquid.
No, I feel really bad for him. I mean, when you see something suffering like that and they can't tell you what's wrong, and you bring him to the vet, you try things, and it's just I have to go back Tuesday, get some X-rays done, and see what's going on. But hoping it's just a pinched nerve. But that's the hope. And for anyone who doesn't know, Scott Baccarat also, his poor dog, they had to put down I think a couple of days ago. Same thing, had a neck injury and they couldn't do anything. So he just put him down. So Scott has not been too happy either. So, pets, they're part of the family in my household. It's not a dog to me. It's one of my kids. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. I absolutely agree.
Yeah. So hopefully next week you'll have some answers on that.
Hope so.
But guys, it was really good to be here, get Doug back in the saddle. Like we had to bring Chris Perillo on it to fill Doug's shoes because everybody else just couldn't stack up. I didn't know what we were gonna do.
But with Scott, I had to be nice. But Doug, I have to be nice.
Oh, with Chris, yeah.
Well, I appreciate Chris filling in for me. Like I said, I hated to miss the show, but I had to do my nerd thing and do the Comicon and do the pinball tournament. So it was a good time.
And you actually got second and third, right? Your wife and you got second and third place.
I did, yeah. My shout out to my wife who actually beat me. In the pinball tournament. She got a second place. I got third place, so it was great. She hadn't even played 4 of the tables of the required tables we had to play and set scores on, so I mean that was even more impressive. And she didn't. She was super nervous and about stressed herself out and about threw up the middle finger and said, "I don't want to do this," and had to calm her down. And then she went in there and just started smoking people, and I was like, "Okay." And then she felt really confident, really happy, and just started kicking ass after that. So props to my wife for kicking my ass and everybody else's ass there.
I'm telling you, when it comes to balls, women have the edge.
What game did you end up winning on? I mean, what were you guys playing? Do you remember?
So we had there was 10 tables total. You had to play 10. You got 10 chances to play. You had to set scores on at least 6 different games, but they had, let's see. So there was Attack from Mars remake. There was Stern, Stranger Things, Star Trek, Jurassic Park, Mandalorian. There was Baby Pac-Man, Flash Gordon, 2 other ones that I don't remember. So had to do that, and then the finals we had to play Jurassic Park and Stranger Things.
The best one was when your wife took the video. I watched that on Facebook, and she says, "Doug doing what he does best," and you watch the ball go right between the flippers. Yeah. That was a riot, because she was just like all serious, just like Doug doing what he does best, and you see the ball go right
to give me crap. I mean, we troll each other back and forth. That's just what we do.
It was good.
We always like to capture each other in our worst moments. So anytime we're taking pictures or taking video of each other, we try to make it as awkward as possible for the other person. So it was good, yeah. I definitely choked on a couple tables, but I made up for it in some other ones. But I'm proud of her. She kicked my butt.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Douglas Smith, you can check him out. I just realized this. It says Twitch because we had Chris on that side, but it's not. It's YouTube.
Yeah, I'm not on Twitch.
He's not on Twitch,
don't follow me on Twitch because I ain't there.
So it's actually youtube.com/COOLTOY. It's just been one of those days, guys. I just fixed it there. We had it, so check it out, guys. I just noticed it. Like, what the heck? He's not on Twitch.
I watched this whole show and didn't notice it. So
didn't even notice it.
I don't care about self-promotion.
They know where to find you.
You can not follow me. You do whatever.
They know where to find you. And then also Mr. Glen Planamento, youtube.com/GPlanamento. Make sure you guys check him out. And
and don't forget, in under 23 minutes, premiering my 3D Donkey Kong on my channel.
Ooh.
Premiere coming up.
Nice.
23 minutes.
When's the Old Guys Club show going? Did you get that all locked in?
No, we're doing some stuff behind the scenes. We're making our new intro video. We're getting some things put in place. So it's probably gonna be probably during the week, maybe like Wednesday night thing. So, but whenever the Retro Buzz isn't there, the two old dudes kicking it old school will be here.
Kicking it old school. That's what it is. I just like to call it the old guys.
I know you do.
Yeah. If you guys have any suggestions that you want to see us do, we're trying to change some things up and make it a little bit different, but you guys get some good content out of it. Let us know. Just hit us up on social media, whatever, and we're going to try to continue bringing you the best that we possibly can and have the best fun that we possibly can. So we'll see you guys next week for more of the Retro Buzz. Until next time, keep it buzzing.